Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill, and let me just correct that a little bit for you. There we go. And this is me live at work. So, what I'm working on today is going to be email templates. So, this is actually going to be fun. This is something that, I don't know, a month or two ago, I started a video on, but then we never got to this point because there's some other stuff that was higher priority and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so we're finally at the point where we're going to be able to do the email templates. So let me make sure that I'm on a good branch here. I'm on the AJ branch. Is that any different than master right now? It is a little bit different from master, but not much different from master. I think the amount that is different from master is acceptable. I'm going to go check out master. I'm going to pull. Okay, and then let me make sure. Yeah. I'm going to look at the logs here and see backfill room, access codes, URL, safe base 64, yada, 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 yada. Okay, cool. So I feel pretty good that we're actually ready to pull that into master, which is great. And I'm going to go back on to my AJ branch and continue to do some work. So what we've got, first of all, welcome everybody. Hello. Good to see you again. Those of you that I'm seeing again. Good to see you for the first time. Those of you I'm seeing for the first time. So if you are joining in now, just be sure to drop a message and say hello. I do have the chat open on the Twitches and the YouTubes with the new chat thing. And look, oh yeah, you can see right here, you can see that the chat is ready. So as chats come in, hopefully I will be more like, oh, my hair's all messy. Headphone hair. Anyway, be more likely to see that a little bit sooner, and I don't have to jump between the couple of different chat platforms in order to do that. So anyway, what was I going to say? So we have some email templates that are not incredibly flattering, and we want to do better. And so that's what we're working on here. So you'll see. I'll show you how nasty these things are. Email templates are nasty. They just are. So it's a case where I don't recommend using the core technology. Most of the time I say, you should use the core technology. You hear me say this. You should not go looking for abstractions. It's like the good TLC said. Don't go abstracting all the things. Stick to the simple code you know that you're used to. I know that you're gonna complicate it or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast. Slow down. Hopefully we don't get any DMCA strikes for that. But yeah, I think that's how the song goes. Well, let me open this up here. Let me first, do I even have FD on this one? I think I do. I should have FD. Downloading, no, it wasn't there. Okay, so we're going to look for, I guess, .EJS. Yeah, all of these templates that are in EJS are terrible. EJS is not a template language. I don't know what it is. It purports to be a template language, but if it were a template language, it'd be the worst one on the planet because it doesn't do one of the two fundamental things that a template language is supposed to do, which is give you layouts. So you'll notice EJS, people always have a header and a footer, which of course means that then your code editor can't interpret the templates, blah, blah, blah. I've done this before. Anyway, so email's really, really bad because you can't use style sheets, or you can sometimes sort of. There's matrices that show you with the different email clients between Gmail and Microsoft and all that. Some of them actually do work half the time, whatever. But in general, you can't rely on. Sorry, I'm moving over here for a second. I realized that I'm going to do the flip screen thing over on here on the camera because it actually makes it so that I can make sure that it goes into focus, because sometimes it forgets that it's tracking my face, and then like right now everything's kind of blurry, so I'm just going to tap. Oh, and is it recording? Hold on. No, it's not recording. Good. All right, there we go. Now it knows it's actually tracking my face, and we need to push back a little bit because it's coming a little too close for comfort. There we are. That's better. Okay, so you can't use classes. You have to put everything in inline styles. You have to know these old tricksy rules from the 90s. Generally speaking, I say don't learn the old bad stuff because it doesn't help you. One thing I've learned in the course of my career, oh, hey, welcome. I see you just joined in. Feel free to tell me who you are, where you're from, what you're interested in, Node or email templates or the channel or any of that is. But one thing I've learned over the course of my career is, and just in life in general, and everybody will say this, you want to go where the ball is going, not where the ball has been. There are some very specific exceptions to that, but you want to watch where the ball is going, and you want to follow that. There are so many times in my career where I've said, oh, I want to focus on compatibility. And I've focused so much on backwards compatibility and it ends up being great, it works. But the problem is by the time the product actually ships, oftentimes the backwards compatibility is not necessary anymore. So I do not advise that you use blazing new features, especially for browsers. I absolutely do not use features that have not been ratified that are not going to be in a browser standard, or that may or may not be in a browser standard, because we don't even know if they're useful yet because they haven't been widely deployed enough, unless you happen to know they're useful, but you probably don't. And we don't know that they're actually going to be adopted by the browsers. So you don't want to focus too much on future things that are frivolous, because that's the other side of the spectrum. But you also don't want to focus too much on backwards compatibility and old stuff, because generally speaking, the old stuff is going to get replaced or it has niche applications. So in the case of email templates, it's 1990s HTML. It's HTML that is not worth learning. And so this is a rare exception where I say, rather than learn the core technology, which is 1990s HTML, which even then it differs between every single different vendor in terms of Gmail versus Microsoft Outlook versus Yahoo versus Apple Mail, etc. They're all different. So rather than focus on learning a bunch of niche details, this is where it's appropriate to use a modern language. And before I thought I was going to use, I don't remember what the name of it was, but I've decided that I probably should use MJML instead. The one that I was thinking about before, it just looks a lot simpler. Oh, hello. I see you just joined in as well. Again, same to you. Feel free to tell me where you're from, what you do. If you use Node, what your interest in email templates or Node or the channel is. At the very least, just say hello. Just break the ice. Let's break the ice. I'm saying hello to you. You say hello to me. Makes everything feel better because then I know, who I'm talking to. Anyway, so MJML is what I'm looking at. Let me go ahead. MJML. Oh, wait. That was new. It gives me the drop down. Oh, but we don't have Brave in here yet. That's fine. MJML. So this one seems to be maybe the simplest, best, the nicest overall. If I go to the documentation, I go to getting started, and then it gives me the option to go see the try it live. Let me try to get there. Try it live. There it is. Overview. Try it live. Let's go to the try it live. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to. There's another one. I don't like this one's documentation as much, but I can tell from looking at the GitHub issues and stuff that this is the one to go with. But there's the try it live up here, try it live, and then let's go, there are other try it lives. Come on. See, it's showing me this one. Where did I just find it? Let me see if I can find it in my other window, because I had a window open. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Whatever. I had a window open where I was looking at this just a second ago over here on the other screen. So I'm going to try to find it and then just pull it over. There it is. Okay, template basic. That's what we were looking at. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons I originally wasn't going to go with MJML, is because there we go. Okay. Because the documentation wasn't as easy to understand, but like I said, from the issues and some of the comments and even the maintainer's own notes on the other one that I was looking at, I can tell that MJML is the way to go forward if we want it to be future-proof. Because the other one, although it's much simpler, is also less capable, and we would probably end up moving to MJML anyway. But you do this, instead of putting HTML, you put MJML, and then MJ body, and MJ this, and MJ that, and so on and so forth. But what it'll do is it'll fill out the nonsense for you so that you can focus on the small things, the simple things, and that you're not doing this where every single element you're recopying the style over and over and over again. So that's kind of what the deal with MJML is. So as you're still being shy. Don't be shy. Say hello. At least say hello. Just type HELL, and then you could just hit send. Or put the O. Either way. Anyway. All right. So and then we need to use ETA as well. And if you're familiar with EJS, like I said, it's absolute crap. ETA is the opposite of EJS. It is actually a template engine that does what a template engine is supposed to do. It gives you templates and loops. It gives you layouts and loops, and that's pretty much what you need. And it also is consistent with its use of the white space delimiters. ETA allows left white space control, which is probably not important in this particular case with the email, but it's nice. It's nice to have it that way. Somebody said that I don't like dark mode. They never get it quite right. It shouldn't be completely black. It should be a little bit of a nicer gray. And there's something's just not quite right about dark mode in most apps. So I'm going to go with light mode. Sorry for those of you that are watching at night. I just need this to be easier on my eyes, and even in the dark, that's easier. So this one is just, it's a lot like ETA. It's just not retarded. And oops, I said the R word. Apparently I learned that that's the R word today. But I do mean that in the true sense of the word. It is a regression. It is backwards. It is slow and unevolved. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm just going to look for verification email, because what I'm going to have to do is create a separate system to send emails. And I'm going to basically have to have an environment variable that A/B switches it. So if we are in if we're in a particular mode, because we have to upgrade a bunch of emails, as you saw. Not all of these are still valid. Most of these are actually not valid anymore. So we're going to get rid of most of these. But I think there's 6 that actually, 6 or 7 that we actually need to keep. And the other ones are just old stuff. Maybe there's more than that. In any case, we're not going to be able to do all of these all at once. We're going to have to take them piecemeal, one at a time. So I'm going to have an environment variable that switches, and if that is active, then I'll say, well, if you can, use the new version, otherwise use the old version. So let me go in here, utils, send email. This is probably the first thing that we'll update, because this will allow us just to send a one-off. And we'll want to use as close to the current system as we can. And so we've got the mailer. Sorry, I'm going through this rather quickly, but we have our util, email.js, render template email, and we're going to give it the template name and the variables. And so what I'm going to do is create a render template email 2. That's cute enough, right? Or I'll give some sort of versioning info. Maybe I'll leave this the same, but I'll have it obey some environment variable inside of that. So first of all, we'll just start off really simple. We're going to need to copy this. When we run this utility, it'll tell us what we need to do. So we're just going to send an email that is basically nothing, and we're going to build it up. Now, I did have a branch. Let me see if I still have it here around. Let me check out auth 3000. It's probably going to have some conflict or something. Yeah, that's all right. Now, let's see if the auth 3000, because I was doing too much in there, and I had to back off of it, and then I created the auth 2500, and I think I deleted that one. Was that still in the list? It's defunct now. Auth 2600, that was the next iteration. So auth 3000 was too much, trying to accomplish too much at once. But anyway, let's see. I thought in here I had something for the mail template that I'd sorted out, but it looks like I may have just that may have been in a branch that got lost. So I did some work on this previously. It was in the stream. It's gone now. So I will just have to go back to my other branch, and we'll kind of have to start over. That stinks though, because I had in there, well, let me just check this branch. Maybe I put it under utils in this branch. Let's see. Nope, not in there. Let's see, source. Maybe it would be under source lib. I don't think that it's there. Let's see. Nope, I lost it. I lost the code. That sucks, because there was a nice little example of exactly what I need to do. Well, we'll just have to recreate it, and it'll be okay. So we're going to check out AJ. I'm going to do npm install save ETA at latest. And then I think it's MJML at latest as well. So, and we'll just get a little tiny example going. We will send it, and well, first we'll just output the HTML, then we'll get it to send, and then we'll move on from there. So we got ETA, MJML. And this is just the curse of the internet. The things that are popular are usually the worst. EJS is the most popular. It's got to be the worst template library ever invented. It's quite possibly worse than PHP. Because I think that even PHP allows layouts. And PHP is kind of funny because there's template languageception, because you have template languages that are built into PHP when PHP was intended to be a template language. Yeah, anyway. So this is good. Let's just get the hello world going. So I need to have, let's say, I'm going to create a vars.json, and we're just going to throw this in here real quick. There's going to be a user, and then that user is going to have a given name. And there's actually a standard for a user object. Given name is the standard name to use, by the way. So we'll call this AJ. So it's given name and family name. These are the standards for what to use. You don't use first name and last name because it's not internationally semantic, I guess might be the way to say it. Because there are lots of countries where the last name goes first, and the family name goes first. And then there's also countries where I don't know if they still practice this, but there's the Hans daughter, Hans son, that kind of thing, where if it was a daughter, then the last name became Hans daughter, because Hans was the dude. So I'm going to use a stupid name of Jennifer Hans daughter. And then if there was a son, then it would be Blake Hanson, and so on. So there's different rules that I don't know if any countries are still doing that as a tradition, but I think it was the Norsish countries, since we have all of these Hofstadter, Hansen, so on and so forth. Okay, so we've got that. Then we'll need to have our tpl.ejs.mjml. I don't know which way this should work, because we essentially have two template languages, and then I guess it's XML is the format that it is. So let's go ahead and give it that nasty name, but we'll just run with it. So we will have, I kind of like the idea of changing the delimiters to be mustaches. So I do want to find out about that. I think it might, well, no, I think I was going to say it might be easier to do the mustaches and the double and triple mustaches, it might be easier to go with what's already there when porting over these templates, but they're going to be so drastically different. I think I'm going to start from scratch, and a simple find replace would do that just as well. So let's see. Let's go to the docs, and let's go to template syntax, interpolate, auto XML escaping. We do need to learn about that. Not vetted for security. So that's one that we, and it's funny too. Here, this is the most terrible thing, because the other libraries out there, they're not vetted for security either, but they're so not vetted for security that they don't even give you a warning. So I bet some people go use something else that doesn't have this warning, but it's one of those strange phenomenons. We trust what we don't know more than we trust what we do know. Here we know the person is security conscious. So this, to me, the fact that this has a warning saying it hasn't been vetted for security and it's probably not completely foolproof, to me, that means that it's probably pretty darn good. Because at least the person is aware. And if they're aware, they probably catch the 9 out of 10. But I mean, that's good to know with any template language. Partials, no. White space control. So where's syntax overview? Delimiter. By default, delimiter. I want to change the delimiter. That's the first thing that I want to do. Delimiter. Delimiter. How do I change the delimiter? Cheat sheet. Do I have something for... Whoa. That's not what I meant to do. Let's go back there. Let's see. Delimiter. Delimit. Rendering. Compilation. That just stinks. It says, oh, you can use whatever delimiter you want. Oh, and I spelled delimiter wrong. That might be... No, I didn't. I spelled it right. Delimiter. Okay, I'm gonna resort to my Google skills. ETA change delimiter. Oh, good. I wonder which way. A couple different ways allows you to set custom delimiters. How do I change the separator delimiter? Let's take a look. Delimiter. I'm just going to open up an issue here. I'll figure it out and then maybe I'll answer the issue. Let's see. Listed in the bullet points, of why ETA is awesome, but where are the docs? I can't find a section that seems to describe how to change from that to that, or what was the other one, etc. Okay, and then I'll look a little bit more and then I'll give up and I'll just go with what it is and I'll do the whatchamajig, the search and replace later. Oh, hello. Feel free to tell me where you're from, what brings you to the stream, what your interest in Node or mail templates or any of this stuff is, ETA, MJML, etc. Now that one right there, that seems kind of strange to me. It does not break with delimiters inside strings inside. No, okay, that does make... kind of does make sense because we typically okay, so it's kind of more HTML where it's a little bit less plain texty and a little bit more HTML-ish. All right, that's good. Okay, let's go back to the things here for API lovers. Syntax overview, whitespace control, basic syntax, examples, configured, list of options. Let's see. Delimiter. Templates. Use with, view cache views, auto trim. Seriously? Delimiter. Tags. Delimiters must be regex escaped. What does that mean? Okay. Apparently in the options, after drilling down from the link from the read more link in the white space section, I was able to find the options. It's called tags, not delimiters. Perhaps that should also be reflected in the bullet point list. Perhaps that nomenclature. And then I don't have a way to deep link into this, do I? Where was I at? Okay, that's all crazy. No way to deep link. List of options. Can I deep link? I can deep link at least this far. Also, it makes mention of regex escaping the delimiters, but it doesn't give any example of what that is. And then, whenever being critical or whiny, always make sure to give some signal of, I appreciate your work, because we're all cranky developers trying to get stuff done as quickly as possible, and we're all frustrated by the docs, and you know, it's nice to just let people know that they don't suck as an individual. And obviously this is pretty awesome stuff here. Okay, so now I need to figure out, how do I use this? Okay, you can customize it via options. Okay, here we go. ETA.getConfig. Can I do an ETA.setConfig, API overview? Do we have a set config, default config, alias for config, get config, load config? But there's no links. There's no link. There's no link to the things. Okay, alias for config. Great, configuration. There we go. So this should link to configuration, but it doesn't tell me. This is frustrating. It doesn't give any examples of how to use this. Big list of API options. Okay, got it. But it doesn't tell me how to use it. How do I? Okay, let's go back to getting started. I'm gonna link the person to this when I'm done, and say, hey, this is me in real time trying to figure out what the heck to do. I don't want to learn. I just want overview. I don't want that. I mean, I do want to learn, but I don't want a tutorial. I just want raw documentation. Overview. It seems like we should have ETA save, importing, requiring. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Also, always use strict. I should put that in my joy of JavaScript thingamabob. Oh, that's over there on the other computer. I'm going to make a little note. All right, JS sayings 2. Use strict. Okay. All right. And I do believe absolutely 100% that when you require something, you should use either camel case, or you should at least start with a capital letter. Always. I cannot think of where there would be an exception to this. This should just be something that you do. Full stop. Okay. Because for numerous reasons, but namespacing is one of them. Just put things in the right namespace. I guess I'll go ahead and do let here. Why not? All right, so let's see if we can figure out how to configure ETA. So we do that, security, code injection, HTML escaping. Your first template is about as simple as you can get. Render, answer, 42. So we are going to have our vars. Let's do that. Okay, here's an exception. I'm requiring some JSON from right here. What did I have? I called it vars.json. There's an exception. This is not really a require. It's not a module. I'm going straight to the thing that provides the data that's already been configured. There's no instance. There will be no instance of this. That is the sole instance, the singleton instance. But basically anything that has functions that I'm going to call off of, I don't exactly know what the rules are yet, so I'm going to shut up. But there is some set of rules. Okay, and then that makes sense. I just want to pass in vars here. And then user.givenName. So let's go hello. There we go. And then does this return this is going to return text or a function? This should actually be more clear. This should have a the answer is, and you can't do the half reference, bro. It's either the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything is, or just the answer is. Don't go a third way on this. Get the quote right, get the meme correct, or because you can go either way. The short meme is the answer is, the long meme is the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything. Because part of the big reveal, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but part of the big reveal is that they then need to find the question because they asked the answer to the question of. And they get the answer, but then they have to go back and get the question because the answer is useless without the question. Of course, well, as the book goes. Anyway, so that's what that should be there. It should let you know, hey, this is, oh, you can hit a run. Okay, I'm stupid. Okay. There's a run button there. I was thinking this is a code snippet. All right, so that's my own dumbness. Oh, good. Here we go. ETA.configure. They are just the functions defined on the config object. ETA.config. Wait, what? ETA.configure. This is so confusing. So ETA.configure just sets ETA.config. Is that what I'm to understand? That seems like what it's saying is that if you call ETA.configure, which should be capital E to match what we're talking about here, because this looks like an instance and this looks like the module or the package. If it's the package, it should be capital, so I know it's working on the package, whatever. So configure. Oh, and we did the thing with the define. Oh, I did one with squirrel too. Squirrel looked kind of interesting. I think I still have that somewhere. I know where that is. That's in, I was doing a thing for church and I put squirrel in there. Okay. Squirrel's another template engine like ETA, really lightweight, front end focused. Looked really good. I could be convinced to use Squirrel instead of ETA, or probably vice versa. I might be able to use ETA on the front end. But Squirrel looked like it had what I needed for that particular application. I'll have to come back and look, but I think they both support similar feature sets with compile and all that. Okay, so we're defining a partial. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to guess. I'm actually, let's print this out. Console.log config. Maybe the configure just does some linting checks to make sure that your config is actually correct. So let's do eta.configure. And then I'm guessing we can pass in here tags. And then we put in opening tags, closing tags, which technically these should be regex escaped, but according to one part of the documentation, but according to the other part of the documentation, no. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm in the XML file instead of in the render file. Let's go create a render file real quick. Render.js. There we go. All right. And now, so let's do like this, yeah? And I don't remember, is the equals means it's raw? What does the equals mean? Because I doubt that you're overwriting. Let's see. Let's go. Where was config at? Here's cheat sheet. No. Where was configure? Compilation configuration. Okay. So oftentimes there's two sets. There's one set for, let's see if we can find equals in here. We cannot find equals in here. rendering. Maybe we'll find equals in here. No, this is just... So in a lot of them, 3 gives you raw. So 3 curly braces gives you raw unescaped output. And then 2 curly braces gives you escaped output. Now, since escaping HTML is really, really easy, there are up to 4 characters that need to be escaped. That is the less than sign, the ampersand. The ampersand should always be escaped first if you're running multiple replaces. So first you replace the ampersand, then you replace less than, which is the opening bracket. Then you can replace quote and single quote and double quote. And if you want to, optionally, you can replace the greater than sign, the closing bracket, but that's not necessary. You should. Let's say you should, but it's not necessary because it won't. Yeah. Well, I guess, could it? I guess technically you should, because if it's inside of a quote, would it be considered or not? I guess you should. I would say in most cases you don't have to, but I think there are some edge cases where someone could make a page look screwy, perhaps, with it. And it is a common enough character. Compilation, compile. Gosh, it's getting warm in here. It's not that warm, but it is getting warm. I'm going to turn the AC. Sorry for the noise. I wish I had some sort of noise canceling plugin, but I don't. It gets warm in here in the day. Okay, file handling, parsing. Where is raw? Do we have any? Oh, there we go. Raw? No, that's not what I mean. Val contains the content of the template object. No, templates, partials, containers. This is what I want to know. Where do I find out what all these little squiggles mean? Whitespace control. No, that's not what I want. Partials. Is this the include syntax? What the flip does the tilde do? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Syntax overview. Okay, it's probably right here all along. There we go. Output your template, implementation tags, put the value you want to output by default, opening closing tags, prefix by equals. What does that mean? What does it mean? Raw. Okay, so this must be escaped. So it's kind of escaped. Output unescaped value in a template, use raw interpolate tags. Prefixed by a tilde. So this is raw. Got it. Evaluation tags don't have a prefix. And place the code inside them. Okay. So can I change the tags? So it says by default, and then it does not give me... I just wish that it was a little bit more clear in linking to the similar things. So do we have tags? Use with var name, view cache views, auto trim, plugins, config, whatever. All right, I'm done looking at that. So what I'm going to imagine that is if I console.log eta.config at this point, my singleton instance of ETA will have the tags configured as such. Let's go ahead and run this and see what we get. Let's do let words equal, or call it text. Let's output our text as well. And then we'll add in some MJML and we'll render the one and then we'll render the other. We should render ETA first and render MJML second, I believe. Okay, what do we see? Tags. There we go. So my guess is that when we use the configure function, it does some sort of linting. Oh, okay, parse. Interpolate raw. I kind of wish that they had the option for an array here so that you could close, because then I would want to open with 3 brackets for raw and close with 3 brackets for raw. But this is okay. This is acceptable. This makes sense. It's logical. I like it. I'm happy. So you've been staying there for a while, but you haven't said hello. Hello. I see you. You're scared, aren't you? You're scared because you know if you say hello, your hello is going to show up right there, and you don't want other people to know that you're a nice guy or gal who says hello, because bad things happen to good people. I get it. I get it. But in all seriousness, anything? Where are you from? What do you do? What's your interest in the channel? Are you somebody that's a lurker? I won't pressure you. I won't pressure you. I'm the extrovert type. I like to have conversations with people while they're on the channel, but it's okay. You be yourself. Don't let me pressure you. You won't. Obviously, you won't. Okay. Now, next thing that we need to do is let's go take a look at the MJML and let's figure out that renderer. So we'll get a little hello world between the two set up. Email editor over here. Let's see. I'm just going to search MJML. Yeah, let's just go to the docs. Try it live. API, documentation. Seems like API and documentation should be the same. Wait, the only API to provide responsive email as a service. Oh, I get it. So this is if you want to use MJML as a service. Say you don't use Node, for example. You use Python or something. But you want to use this as a service. I get it. So we do want the documentation. Now I understand the difference between they're talking about an HTTP API versus documentation is the library's API. That makes good sense. I like that. I appreciate that. I should think more about developers that use other languages when I'm creating my Node code, because I could probably do something like that for a couple of my projects and maybe just provide something that's easy to do in Node as a service for people that are using Python or Ruby or one of the languages where some of these things aren't quite as easy to implement or the implementations aren't as good. Anyway, usage, let's say getting started, column sizing. How about just rendering? Where's rendering? Where's hello world? Tooling. No, usage. MJ now. Oh, okay, it scrolled. I just got confused because MJML app. Atom plugin. So where's the Vim plugin? Okay, here we go. This should say CLI. That'd be clear. Can I get rid of this thing? Do I have to have this side by side? Because I really don't want the side by side. Yeah, whatever. Oh, now it says command line interface. Oh, okay. I was getting confused there. Does it? Okay, it does update, but it updates in not necessarily the place that you think it's going to update. Got it. No, I don't want to migrate. I really just want to use the require MJML. Where's that at? Did I get, inside Node.js. Here we are. Yes, this is what I want. Oh, well, that's nice enough. I kind of think that it should have a render, but we'll go with it. Okay, this would be another exception. It's a single function. So let's make our let TPL equal. I'm not going to require it yet or parse it from the file yet. We're going to try it here first, and then we're going to just progressively move. Yeah, as we get one thing working, we make it slightly more complex, and so on and so forth. So let's just we'll use the backtick mabobs here, and then we'll open up MJML. And then we'll close with MJML. And then, what was this? Mailjet markup language or something? What does MJ stand for? Oh, I can't get to the bottom of the screen, can I? No, I can't. It's forever long. I am curious. I'm going to open this up in a new page. Go back to development. Is it development? Ah, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And no, I can't get to. Let's try mjml.io. I'm just curious what this means. Oh, it is Mailjet. Mailjet markup language. That was intuitive enough. Another reason to use this one over the other one, maybe. It is made by Mailjet, and they do have a vested interest, because that's how they make money, in this working. So, yeah, this makes sense. You know what would be even better for these, though? You get a lot more marketing right now with Node, but seriously, any of these sorts of parsers or generators, they would be more reliable and more secure in Rust. It would make a lot of sense to write something like this in Rust, in my opinion. And let me see, can I justify that as an actual fact? I think I could, but I haven't done enough Rust development to say what gotchas you run into, because this is dynamic, but it's pre-rendered, so it's not but you got the scripting language inside of it. No, not in MJML, just in ETA. And in MJML, it's pure static. I don't think there's dynamic loops or anything like that. You do the looping in ETA. That's why we're using both of them. One for the templating and one for the transpiling. So I would say, yeah, it'd make a lot of sense to have this in Rust. Anyway, that seems to be the bare minimum that we could do. So let's HTML. Oh, we're going to render ETA first, right? Let me think about this. Yeah, that should work. We should do ETA first. So we'll say TPL to MJML, and then we should go from MJML to HTML, and this should work. MJML to HTML. And we don't need any vars. It's just a straight conversion. So then we should be able to log out HTML. And we should have, I would imagine it's going to keep all of the spacing the same. I'm hoping that it will prettify it. If not, I actually would like to prettify it. Even though it's going to somebody's mail client and they will likely never see it, for the person that does click to inspect it, I would like it to look nice. And it's not like it's going to make that much of a difference in terms of the amount of data that gets sent. Yeah, it's going to maybe be double the size because of all the white space, but it's going to get gzipped away anyway, yada yada blah blah, you know. Oh, hello. I got plenty of people joining in. Where are you from? What do you do? What is your interest in Node? What is your interest in learning about MJML or ETA for mail templates? Or what brought you to the channel? I really do appreciate it when people say, you know, if you say nothing else other than hey, I really appreciate it. I also really appreciate if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So if you do find that you have an aha moment or something here is really useful for you, that's cool. But I appreciate the hello even more, because then I don't feel as alone. I'm being watched, but then I feel like there's a sense of community. So anyway, yeah, let's take a look at this. Boom! And something is upset. Why? XML escape, blah, blah, blah. Replace. MJML. Cannot do replace of undefined. So maybe I must have used this wrong. Let me go check. What was the inside Node.js? Options. Okay, has to have options. I definitely want beautify. I definitely want keep comments. I appreciate that. Let's see. True. Keep comments. True. But it seems to think render Console.log. Let's see, MJML. ETA render. There we go. Okay, why is it so upset? Oh, this one is the wrong tag. Tag, is that the right word for that? I guess this is appropriate. Whatever. I'm going to sneeze in just a second here. Too powerful for you. I know this. Minify Outlook conditionals. Maybe I need to have at least an MJML body and section. Let's try that. It could be that because I try to go too minimal, and obviously there's no benefit to only having an MJML tag. So let's try this. MJML body, MJ section. Oh, I guess I need to reverse those. But let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this goes, oh, 1, 2, and then that goes in 1, 2. That looks decent enough, I guess. And then I do want the trailing new line. So let's put that in there. I always try to make sure there's a trailing new line in these things. Okay, so that's what it is. So if you do not have an MJ body, oh my heavens, look how horrendous that is. I wonder what this JSON is about. Maybe it will tell me over here. Oh, validation level. Ooh, always strict. Always strict. Oh, hey, thank you. Yes, you said hello. I appreciate that, Nelson. Now I have a sense of as a real person, not just a bot. So, do tell me, do you work in Node? Let's see, validation level. Let's make that strict for sure. What brings you to the channel today? Let's see. Let's take a look at other options. File path. Oh, MJ include. Okay, that'll be cool, I guess. I don't think we're going to need that, though, because I think we're going to do all of our templating in ETA. And we'll leave it to ETA to do the templating because that's what ETA is good at. Plus, oh, excuse me. We actually will need to be doing looping for some of the templates. So they'll have, some of them will have a list of items in a table, and we'll have to do looping for that. MJML config path, use MJML options, minify options, validation level is strict, keep comments fonts. Huh. Default fonts imported in the HTML rendered by HTML. I don't know what that means. Juice preserve tags. Optional when... Okay, let's take a look at the documentation. I don't know what juice means. I don't care about the minifier. Yeah. You do get... I think it's somewhere between 10 and 20% better compression when you minify. But just think how nice it is when somebody does a curl and it just comes out beautiful. I don't know. I don't know if it can be justified. 10 to 20% is a big number. What is juice? Insert preserved extra CSS, apply style tags. Juice. Hmm. What's HBS? Now I'm kind of interesting. Maybe it's handlebar style? Something? EJS. So bad. Maybe it's just handlebars and they put the S there. Don't do much Node. I'm an ops guy hanging around. So when you say ops, you mean a Docker slash Kubernetes type of ops person, or you mean more just average Linux, or what does ops... Tell me what ops means to you. And I really do appreciate the conversation. It's nice. It actually makes me slow down my speaking and be less excited and be a little more authentic and real. Which, I just, when I'm speaking to no one, I feel a little more hyper. Or even, I know that people are there, but I don't have the sense of developing a connection. And so I don't know, I guess I have this kind of natural, I put on a little bit more theatrics, which I don't necessarily like doing, but you don't know who your audience is. You don't have any feel for it. It's kind of, for me, it's just something that's a natural tendency, but I feel that I am my more authentic and more personable self when I have a sense of who I'm speaking to. Okay, so was there anything else I needed to learn from that? I went away from it feeling as though, okay, I got what I wanted to understand. Oh, juice. That's what I wanted to know about. And juice, yeah, okay. So let's do this. There's a couple of things that happen. I think we want... I wonder if MJML has preview text in its... I'm just going to search that because looking through their documentation is probably too hard. MJML preview text. Documentation. Because they should have an MJML or MJ preview by my estimation. Let's see. How to use block preview text MJML. I'm just going to check out this MJML builder responsive. I'm going to switch over to Brave search. Actually, let me see. Can I make Brave my default search engine in Safari yet? I think that they had a limited list that they allow you to choose from or some such. But let me check and see, because I do prefer Brave. It seems to give better results than DuckDuckGo. And I don't think my ad guard is actually active right now. Let me see if we can make that active. What am I looking for? Search? Yeah, so they give you a limited list, and I don't know how... What? I don't know how you add a new one. My guess is that they get added automatically, but I don't see... Okay, search. Okay. There's no... Make this your defaults. Let's see if they have... Their dark mode is palatable. I think most people get dark mode wrong. This is palatable. Okay, so I guess there's not... I'm just going to... I know this is a sidetrack, but... How to make Brave default search engine Safari. Safari. Nope, that's the Brave browser. Oh, change search preferences. Search engine. All right. Safari custom search engine. Okay, I'll try not to detour too much on this, but this is just one of those things where I use Safari because it is more efficient. So I do kind of like that. All right, what is this bang? Short code. Okay, got it. Safari's quick search website. Okay. Sometimes takes you. Apple's constantly improving. OmniKey. Okay, so you can't. You can't. That's kind of weird that they don't allow you to do that. So what did I want to search for here? I was this MJML preview text. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Okay, so sorry, I was not paying attention to the comments. I'm looking now. Oh, keep in mind there is about a 30-second gap plus whatever time it takes for me to actually notice that you put in a comment. So it is always better to use a little bit more long form when you say something like correct that X, because I won't actually know what you're saying correct to, because but okay, well, there you go. You gave more context. Unix admin in general, doing the more DevOps style of work the past few years. So DevOps is a term that I feel has been hijacked, and so I don't know what people mean when they say it, because some people come from the old school of DevOps, where DevOps means making developers' lives easier by reducing the number of tools and tool chains and services that they have to be familiar with in order to get something working, and making sure that it works efficiently. The new age DevOps seems to be make sure that as many tool chains are required as possible, so that even local development is a nightmare that can only be done with Docker. Now, hopefully that doesn't offend you, and hopefully you're not in the latter camp. Okay, yeah, in the last few years, more and more with containers, and less with VMs or bare metal. Okay, yeah, and I think that Docker can be great. I think it just gets overused because, for example, Go, you just export a single binary. I think Docker is used correctly when the result is from scratch rather than from Ubuntu. And you can do Node from scratch, and you can do, obviously that's not always possible because you have Node APIs that require image magic and things like that, where they do need to be installed on the system. But I think it's unfortunate. It seems like the reason for Docker is because stubborn people can't let go of the idea that shared libraries have failed us, and we need to get rid of shared libraries, and everything needs to be built statically with muscle. There should be an option for everything that is useful, and especially everything that is necessary should be able to be built with muscle. I am looking for a muscle build of Postgres, or a static build of Postgres for Linux, and a system independent Postgres build. If you know anything about that, please give me a link. I would love to know about it, because that is something that I'm searching for. On webinstall.dev, which you might really like, by the way, I do have a static build, an official static build of Postgres. Try to keep everything there, official static builds. But the problem is the Postgres people, Enterprise DB, decided to stop making the static Linux build available. And I have no idea why they did this, but they basically threw their hands up and said, no, it's up to the maintainers. Everybody will ship their own custom version of Postgres, and you'll have to figure out all the specific details rather than just using a standard Postgres distribution, which makes me very upset. Anyway, MJML, preview emails. I think that, no, that's Mailgun. Okay, I'm going to check their API again. And I am going to check the comments here. I make their lives easier in production and local development. God bless you, good sir. Or spectacles, testicles, watch and malt. That's my salute to you. So I hope I don't offend anybody who is of an Orthodox or other, religions where you do those, It's fine if you do that. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of that. It's more making fun of, I don't think it was Spaceballs or something of that nature where they did that. Probably a Mel Brooks movie. It was probably a Mel Brooks movie where I saw that and I thought it was funny, and I've used it from time to time. Of course, I don't think I've seen many Mel Brooks movies. Components, let's see, basic layout example sections. Do we have just a list? Am I in the guide section? Where's the raw API? Just give me the list of all the things I can do. Do we have that here? Here we are. Standard body components. Do we have standard head components? There should be a preview. Yes! What do you know? Yes! Bless them. It was intuitively named. It was exactly what it ought to have been. Bless them. Yes. So for those of you that don't know, the way that you get a preview in Mail is simply a matter of using every possible option so that it doesn't display. So because you can't count on a client supporting any particular option, you have to do visibility, none, display, none, color, white, background white, or color transparent, background transparent. You just have to, use every single hack, and then you can put what you want in here. So a special treat inside. Welcome. No. Speak, friend, and enter. There we go. Read, friend, and enter? I don't know. There we go. So now, I'll be interested to see how they do it. So let's run this render process again, and let's see how they do their preview. Because I'm very interested to see, there's different ways to try to go about it. And it won't actually be in the head section, it goes in the body section. Word spacing normal, display none, font size 1px, color, max width 0, max height 0, opacity 0. I imagine the reason they do the font size is, and the color, the font size being 1, because you can't count on any of these actually being used. So if in whatever client they're in, it respects any of this at all, then this first line will not be shown in the body of the email, but it will show up as the subject line, because the subject line is the place that does not respect any styling whatsoever. So it simply reads the first line before a new line, I believe is the way that it works, and then it may show other stuff after that. Okay, let's see what else we got. Don't use Postgres much. I work for an almost complete Oracle DB shop. Okay. Find out and comment on future stream. That'd be awesome. You can also hit me up on Twitter, either @_BeyondCode or @CoolAge86. I try to keep the @_BeyondCode is strictly tech. I sometimes go on my rants that you may not agree with at the @CoolAge86, so that's why I suggest the @_BeyondCode. Another one is I found that MariaDB does offer agnostic static builds. The problem is their CDN is essentially dial-up speeds. So I made an installer that would download it, but it would take 20 minutes. Obviously, Oracle and MariaDB have... Actually, not obviously. I don't really understand what's going on there. But well, you say you're Oracle DB shop, so you're not... Okay, so you are Oracle, not just Oracle of it. You use Oracle, the database. You're not part of Oracle, the company. Got it. Never mind. So I'll quit that line of logic. But yeah, that'd be much appreciated. But yeah, check out webinstall.dev. In fact, I'll just go there right now for everybody. Developer tools that guaranteed to install and work correctly regardless of the operating system if it's supported. So Node, Dino, Go, PowerShell, Python. Yes, PowerShell can be installed on other systems. Python, Rust, Flutter, those are your programming frameworks or environments or tool chains, however you want to call them. I guess tool chain would be the correct word for these. Then you've got your other tools such as BAT, FD, RG, JQ, shell check is not listed here, but shell check is available. Watch exec, YQ, all of these. If you're not familiar with the tools, .env, if you're not familiar with these tools, you absolutely need to go check them out because they are, whether you're in the DevOps side or you're in the development side, these are all tools that some of them you should be using on a daily basis. If you are not, you don't love yourself enough. I'll just put it that way. Okay, so we've got the HTML render. I am curious to see what this children is all about. So let me do .json.children. Let me just see what this is. I'm just curious. Okay. File path, line 2, tag name. Oh, heaven forbid. This, I don't even want this to take up my valuable RAM. Oh, this is... No. I don't know why this would be useful. So some people do HTML in JSON. They represent the DOM in JSON. I could see if there was a debug option, maybe I'd want that, but no, I do not want that. That's terrible. I have not been able to find any advantage to it. At first I thought it was cute when I first saw it, and I thought, oh, maybe this will be neat. But then, yeah. Oh, and as a DevOps guy, are you familiar with Caddy? If you're not familiar with Caddy, if you are forced to use AWS's complex CDN systems, then it may be of no avail to you. But otherwise, Caddy with its Let's Encrypt integration and super simple config, way better than the old Nginx or the ancient Apache. Let's see. All right, so this is good. We're in a good place. Let's go ahead and send an email. I think we're at a place where I could take this. Well, no, we need to do a little bit more. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put this in our file. So I'm going to say TPL is fs.read file, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this all in an async main function, and that's going to be all right. Yeah, and then we're just going to say main.catch, and then if there's an error, we'll catch it and log it out. Console.error. Error. And often I get the stack trace, but in this case I'm not going to worry about that just yet. And then we need to process.exit 1 so that the exit code reflects that there was an error. Although I'm not going to be running this in a way where that matters. And so we need to do, let's say let's go ahead and put this up at the top. We're going to do let fs equals require fs.promises. And then we can await fs.read file. And then we're going to have, I'm going to need path as well. Path equals require path. And then this is one of the ones where conventionally no one does this, but I think it's good to do. A path should be uppercase path because you're probably going to want to have a variable named lowercase path. So anything that's a module, I would recommend that it always starts with an uppercase. And I don't know how this got broken in JavaScript. I don't know how people started doing it. It's just too many cooks in the kitchen, because generally in languages that have packages start with a capital letter. That's a common convention. It's a good convention. Sometimes the difference between whether you want camel case or I don't think that this is actually correct to do fs, even though it would make sense that it would be all caps. It's not a constant, so it shouldn't be all caps. But you should either be doing snake case or camel case, and hopefully not mixed case. And then there's a couple of things like this. It's a single function. It's not really a module, so yeah, we give it a pass. Anyway, so here we go. Await fs read file, but before that, we need path. See, let's say resolve might be the right one to use. we're going to have some sort of directory that is going to be where our templates are. In this case, that's just going to be right here for right now. And then we need to do, we're going to have our template name. And I think .ejs, .mjml, .xml might be the right way to go. Because, or we could say .html, but everything's custom about it where it is valid. I think it's valid XML. It probably needs a doc type up top if we were to do that. So maybe it should be .html. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like that for now and just call it TPL. And so let's say name is equal to TPL. I'm just kind of, these are useless abstractions at this point, but I know where I'm going with this. This is going to go out to a point where there's going to be a template directory, there's going to, and so on and so forth. In fact, I should probably just do TPL dir equals. And we'll just put a dot there for now, but this is a placeholder because as we quickly grow this to where it needs to be, that's going to become more meaningful. Now, it's actually starting to get a little too cool. The funny thing about the AC here is that the thermostat in it doesn't work. And so it runs and runs and runs and runs, and it'll get down to 68 degrees when actually it should have stopped when it reaches, let's see, it's down to 70 degrees. It was set to 73. So it should go to 73, turn off, and then turn back on and turn off, but it doesn't. And I think I did get it at a second-hand store. Not a second-hand store, but one of those overstock stores where something falls off the shipping crate and the box gets damaged, but everything seems to be good about it. They don't put it in the main store. They put it in the secondary store. I don't know what those are called generically, but that's what it is. And I think that maybe this was one that got returned, and maybe the reason it got returned is because the thermostat doesn't work. It's probably still under warranty, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's been 2 years. But I should check into that. Okay, so we're going to read this file. We're awaiting it. Oh yeah, we should do this as UTF-8. We don't want it to read as binary. We're going to render it with ETA first. Oh, whoops, I put EJS. Oh, the devil. He got me. And then .mjl. And then, so first we render with this, then we render with this, and then the result is this. That's how I like to name things. I think that's another stupid thing about EJS. Obviously, it should support the last extension should be whatever you expect it to be, because when you are opening it in your code editor, you want your code editor to apply the syntax formatting, most likely of the final bit, because EJS is not a file format, therefore it should not end in EJS or ETA. It should end in whatever the expected file format is that your editor can understand. So maybe we will call this .html. Okay, so we got that. Did I commit the cardinal sin of naming this? Oh, I did. Oh, I'm such a bad person. Okay, so tpl.eta.mjml.html is what we'll call it. And then we'll paste in these goodies here. And I wonder, okay, so Prettier wants to do it that way. That's fine. We'll let Prettier do its thing. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Now, I'm also interested to know in terms of styling, because the other one I was looking at seemed like it had a really nice way to handle styling, and I'm not sure if this one does. Okay, this does have an ability to inline the styles, which makes sense. That's what you probably want to do by default. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Who knew? We can change the title. So I think this will be interesting to see. It might work in some things, might not work in others. So, hello from the elves. Let's call it that. Breakpoint. Oh, no, I don't want to worry about that. I don't worry about that either. Okay, let me check on comments again. Okay, no additional comments. All right. Well, there we are. And also, let me just move over here. let's see. I kind of want, let's see if we can go just a touch wider on this, or maybe a touch longer. How could I do this? Whoop. Oh no, now I lost all the messages. Oops. Well, you live and you learn. Yeah, but I need to find a good breaking boundary for this so it's not breaking in the middle of characters. Okay. Validating MJML, community components. Oh, that looks scary. I guess it kind of looks cool though. MSO button. VML solution valid for radius. I wonder what that is. Using MJML and JSON. Tooling drag and drop interface. Oh, that's scary. A drag and drop interface. Oh, okay. I'll bite. I'll bite. See, this is what they should. Oh, this is what should be on the first page of their documentation. Like, this makes sense. Preview and test. Send, save draft. But how do you get? Let's just go to performance cookies. No, functional cookies, target, whatever the heck. There we go. Okay, I get the drag and drop. But how do I get the MJML out of it when I'm done? So preview and test. Save draft, view publication history, save as. Okay, so I guess they don't want to give this to people. So they want to show it off. Oh, here's an editor you can use, or here's an editor that's been built, but they don't want to give you the MJML that comes with it, I guess. Which that's I mean, it seems because they already give you. It just, this gatekeeping doesn't quite make sense to me. Okay, maybe I should have to pay for it to use it. I'll buy it for a month. I'll pay $10 not to have to write all this out by hand and be able to get something that looks this great. Yeah, I'd do that. Sure. But I want to see the MJML is the thing. So yeah, if I need to buy the use of it or something, I could be persuaded to do that. But how do I get the MJML? Okay. So what's the next thing I'm looking for here? So we got this mostly going. I think it is time to just go ahead. Well, let's see what else we can put in here. Basic layout example, image header, background size, no repeat. Well, I actually kind of appreciate this a little bit. They do a nice blend of making it easy, but not having too much abstraction. Okay. And I also need to go look at what we actually need to do. I would like to see, we had the style thing. I would like to see they give you these examples, but show me. Obviously, there's some font work going on here. Okay, that's well, this is a little bit frustrating because this is not saving me anything. If I have to, they're showing it. It's different in each one. Okay, all right, that's fair enough then. Because if you're that's different variations of white and ghost white, etc. Okay, I get that. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. That doesn't need to be styles. That makes sense to be inlined. It's not repeating the same thing over and over again. Do we have any class stuff in here, though? Let's see. Checking comments again. Class, MJ content. I don't quite get this. Yeah, this doesn't quite make sense to me. Font family. All right, let's go back to the most powerful things I would think would be the examples and the drag and drop. Because if I wonder, I'm just going to tweet at these people and see maybe. Save as. Create a free account. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to create a free account to see if the drag and drop will work for me. Let's do... I'll use my company address. So let's see. Can I get this? Why is LastPass not here? Okay, I'll use... excuse me for a second. I created a password. I saved it in Safari. I can retype that password somewhere else. Maybe. Maybe I'll remember. All right. By the way, tomorrow... What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Tomorrow, I'm going to get to check to see if I can get Root LLC and get rid of the group. Because the other company that is called Roots has been expired for 1 year as of tomorrow, so I will be calling up the Utah State Department Division of Corporate Partnership. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm going to call them up tomorrow, and I'm going to see if now that it has been 365 days since the expiration, if I can now register that name from the other business that had it before. I am very much looking forward to owning that. I will get it. I mean, unless... The only way that I wouldn't get it is if the people that actually used to have it register it first. Main industry, computers and electronic. Well, that's not quite it. Software. Do we have software in here? Social networks and startups. Ooh, man. Put me in with those. Youch. No, I don't want... Oh, good. €0. My favorite. Add payment info now. Accounts without credit restricted. Free plan, which only allows you to send 6,000, blah, blah, blah. 200 emails a day, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yep, I'm fine with that. All right, now I got to go verify my email. Let me go do this. After all this work, they better let me save as MJML. If they do, I'll be perfectly happy. If they don't... Okay. I'm logging in my other tab now, maybe. Or maybe I'm just waiting for forever for something to not load. Okay, I'm going to type in credentials. We'll see if I remembered. No, I did not remember my password. Can't even remember it for 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go into my keychain and search for Mailjet. And then show password. I had to change my computer password to be able to sync using the FE File Explorer on the iPhone because the database got corrupt and my wife couldn't download her pictures to the phone. That's layman's term. Transfer, sync, whatever. Anyway, the Apple tools wouldn't work, so I had to use this third-party tool, but it wouldn't allow me to sync it to my computer because my password has special characters in it. So I had to change my password to my computer. Oh. All right, now I'm almost done with this. And check I'm not a robot, check remember me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and I need to go... activate my account. What in the world? Is Jack Beanstalk, is that a spammer? I think that's a spammer. I think Jack Beanstalk came in to make some comment. Yeah. See this one right here? Well, that one right there. Yeah. I think that's spam. Don't do that. Don't give the dude what he wants. Unless, Mr. Beanstalk, you would like to refute me and say that you're not a bot and prove it by counting to 10 backwards, skipping every other number. Okay, my account. Okay, so now I should be able to go back over here. I'm all logged in and verified and yada, yada, yada. So let's go back, let's go back, let's go back. Ready to start sending? No, I'm not ready to start sending, but I am ready to... Please give me the option save as. I did create a free account. Transactional template. By coding in MJML. Code from scratch, MJML. Template name. Test MJML. Okay, new template successfully created. And now it's getting warm in here again, so I'm going to have to turn on the AC again soon. All right, that didn't work. Let's see. Using one of my templates. No. Using something from the gallery. Bah, you are frustrating me. You told me to sign in. I signed in. You said that I'd be able to save this. You tell me to sign in. You take me to a sign-in page. I go through the rigmarole, and when I click save, it doesn't actually let me save. This is frustrating. Do you hear me, Mailjet people? This is frustrating. You take me to a page that gives me clickbait so that I'll sign up for an account. I say, you know what? This is worth it. This is worth signing up for an account. You've got a good tool. I go through your clickbait process, and then there's the switch, the clickbait and switch. So I say, yeah, let's save this. Create a free account. I already created a free account. Okay, so here's my question. How do I get back to this tool now? Templates, marketing templates, campaigns, automation, contact us. I wanted to do the click and drag tool. Templates, transactional templates. Let me just pick one. My transactional templates. No, I don't have any. Create a new template. 2 column, 3 column, cool dashboard. Thank you. Hello world. Lando. I don't know. None of these look like the thing that I had started with, but let me just go pick. Say 1 to 3 columns. Okay. TMPL test. Use this. Whoa, I did not mean to put anything in a strange language. All right. I'm frustrated. I'm going to tweet my frustration. Okay. At MJML. At MailJet. So, hey. So I go to use your cool tool, and it clickbaits me into creating an account, which wouldn't be clickbait at all, except that then I have nowhere to get to the draft I was working on when I clicked save as. Brr. Grrr. I've put some I've put a sad face in here. There we go. That way it's not too intimidating. No one gets angry at a person who's crying. There we go. Cool. All right. So hopefully they'll, I don't know, fix that problem, I guess. What else we got here? All right. So after all that, now we're ready to send the email, maybe. Well, let's test this again. So let's test our render again. Our render should still work. Nope. Our render doesn't work because I screwed it up somehow. Let's go check how I screwed it up. TPL dir. Oh, that's how I screwed it up. This should be name, and this should be TPL dir. Okay. Excellent. All right, good. So that looks great. And now let's send this email. So what I've got under my utils folder, I have send email, and then render template email is what it says. Render template. So I've rendered the template, right? What was this? Object assign, render template email. Let me go check out what's going on there. Because mailer.send. So I need to figure out what the function signature of render template email is. What is it actually returning? Because if I just return that and then swap out my little utils mabob, render template email. Oh, we should be good. So this is what it goes back as. This is great. This is wonderful. I don't know why. Let's see, data. So we give it extra options, I guess. Oh, I need to fix that logo source, don't I? Do we have logo? Yeah, I need to fix that logo source. Yeah, we need to have that in our environment variables. That's one of the ones that slipped through the cracks. There's still a couple of places, yeah. And from name. And there's a couple places. So we're exploring different options of how to offer this product. We may offer it as embedded. We may offer it. There's a certain amount of white label that we would do. I recommend that we don't do white label because the sad truth is that white label products have a very limited growth path because they don't have virality. They serve a very niche market. They cannot grow. I don't know if I've ever heard of a white label product growing at unicorn speed or size. By virtue that it is a white label product, you wouldn't hear, even if that were true. But if you know of a unicorn product, meaning something that has exceeded $100 million in business value, that is white label. I'd love to know about it. I'd love to know how a business model can grow for that. Huh. Let's see. Okay, and the Mailjet support got back to me already on the tweets, so I put a heart there. Okay. So what was I pasting? All right, I'm going in here. I'm looking at this. I'm checking out the render function. I'm feeling good about the render function. The one thing that I was, oh, excuse me, bless me, whatever. One thing I was confused about was where that data is coming from. So I'm going to go back into my send email utils, and we've got message.variables. And those are already enumerated elsewhere. Wait, does this even make sense? Message.variable. So this should, this returns HTML, text, subject, something else. Let me go take a look at what that was. HTML title from subject. HTML from, it actually should go this way. It should be from HTML, no, from subject HTML. What was the last one there? From subject HTML. HTML title from subject. What the heck is title? Title. Huh. Gets used in whatever the title of the email is. I get it. Okay. Yeah, let's just say the title is, it's a variable. Okay. So mailer.send. Let me go take a look at my mailer. Source lib mailer. Source lib mailer. Send body. Okay. And I don't need to do the pre-header now because I've got the MJML to do that for me. So I won't bother with that. Yeah, because the preview is just going to go into the templates from now on. Okay, so we'll find a workaround for that. I don't think that this functionality was ever used up to the present. Can I report spam on this thing? I want to report spam on Mr. Quinn Michaels. Spammer! Oh, interesting. Apparently I accidentally did hit the record button on the camera, and it was recording until it ran out of juice. Let me... Maximum recording time has been reached thanks to the European Tax Commission. So cameras that are sold as DSLRs, even though this is the dumb thing, okay? They should give us a different firmware for the US versus Europe. But as often happens with stupid places like the European Union and California, when one small little area with a small, relatively, well, I can't say small, but either California or Europe, they're about the same size and they both have a lot of influence. Anyway, but they come up with some stupid regulation that makes no sense. Like the reason that we have all these cookie banners. What do you care about the cookie banners? You know that they were doing your privacy stuff, and it's not even necessary anymore because you can't use third-party cookies anymore. So the whole thing is a moot point, right? And so now we have all these cookie banners, so we can't use websites because the cookie banner is taking up 3/4 of the site, or it's just it's just super annoying, right? And then the similar thing with DSLR. So you can't sell a DSLR that can record for more than so many minutes. because if it records for more than so many minutes at a time, then it's not a photography camera. It's a video camera, and that has a different tax code. And so you can't sell it under both tax codes. You have to pick one tax code or the other. But they should just give us one firmware in the US and give another firmware in the EU, and then all the EU people would just go download the US firmware and it'd be all good. You could do something really annoying, like change the way that commas are used or something. Anyway, that's beside the point. But that was a thing with the camera there. Oh, and by the way, everybody should know about this. I've talked about this before, but these headers for message ID, X, entity ref, and references, they're prefixed with H because of the way that it goes through Mailgun, which is how we're doing it right now. But you set these and it makes things not thread, which is wonderful. Okay, so I kind of see how this is going. Mailer.send, yep. Okay, cool. So this all looks good. So I just need to make my current render function that I'm working on. I need to make it compatible. So let's say now we're going to do, let's say I don't know, renderer. What do we call this? Module.exports. Mail TPL. Let's call it that. Whatever. Well, I guess this is kind of just is it a one function pony? Maybe it is. So maybe we don't call this main. Maybe we call it render. And then we go down here and we say if require.main equals module. Anybody that's used Python for any length of time is familiar with this. A lot of Node people are not familiar with this. But this is how you declare that something is, in fact, mainy. That sounds kind of weird. Let's see. So what do we want to do to change here? We need that to return as such. So let's do a little refactoring. We'll bring this down inside of this block. I don't think we need to worry about the configuration too much, but might as well keep it there. Let's comment that out. Let's comment this out. Let's comment this out. So we're going to render vars. We're going to render name and vars is what we're going to do. So we can now get rid of name. We can move that down here. We can call render on name and vars. And is there anything else that we need to do? What is it whining about? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so now we've got HTML title, from, and subjects. But here's the thing. I don't know where we get those from. So let me go back here. What is this? Body dot preview is one thing. HTML is one thing. Attachments. I don't think any of those mean anything. I think they're meant for the renderer. But we don't do anything with title here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we don't do anything with title, so I don't think the title actually needs to be returned. Yeah, it looks good enough. I'm just going to bump. I'm just going to bump off. There we go. I don't want the bots message hanging in my stream. There we go. Okay, so this is looking good. I really think all that we needed here was HTML. No, we do need the from. And I need to see, we're not going to do anything with that though, right? I don't care too much about the title. I don't think. I'm going to leave it there. But this is really going to be, title is vars.title. And from is vars.from, subject is vars.subject. I don't think we need those things, honestly. It's just kind of passing them through. But I need to go look at this other function one more time. Not this one. The one that is calling it message. Okay, this has the from and all that stuff. So no, I don't need to return those. I'm going to go back here to my little render function, and I don't need to return any of this. I only need to return HTML because all the rest of that stuff is handled elsewhere. Oh, and this would be MJML, or this would be, I don't know. Let's just say .html. There we go. Cool. And there is no need for an await on that. It works as it is. Okay. So this is all good. I'm ready to try this for realsies. So the way that I'm going to try this for realsies is I'm going to go to my send mail, and I'm going to replace the render template with, let's see, render.js, I think is what I called it. And I think I just exported it as render. And then I just pass in the template name and I pass in my variables. So I think that's right. And everything else is as, let's see. Yep. Okay, cool. I've got my message.json. Is that what I'm looking for? Let me check here. HTML. So we are going to override that. We don't need the preview anymore, so I'm going to just put an underscore in front of that. I'm going to put underscore in front of HTML. And the template that I'm going to put is going to be, let's put an underscore in front of that. We're going to change that to being the TPL template. And then, variables. Okay, we're not doing anything funny there. All right, this all looks good. So it really should be .variables, I think, that goes into this. Yeah? Okay. All right, let's get to actually testing it out and see if it works. And then I think I'm going to need to take a break. Okay, bot beanstalk is back. Clean code, what is that supposed to mean? Are you not a bot, Mr. Beanstalk? I'm so confused. Because I just assumed from your earlier comment that didn't seem like it had anything to do with anything, that you're just trying to drive traffic to a YouTube channel. So now, and I had explicitly asked, if you are not a bot, tell me that you're not a bot. So now you're showing up again. I don't know, maybe you're just a troll or something. I don't know what you are. I don't mean to offend you if you're not a troll. But you know how streams go. You get weirdos that show up and do weird things. and it's kind of confusing and frustrating sometimes. That is the nature of the public forum. All right, so utils, send email, and it's going to tell me couldn't find source lib mailer. That's preposterous. npx space tag link. That's what we need to do for this. And then we need to tell it what message we want. And then message.json. Okay. All right. And render is not a function because I never exported it. So module.exports.render equals render. There we are. And then as for the vars going into the render function, let me make sure that that is correct, because I was a little bit confused on that. Utils, send email. No, that would have been source lib mailer. Source lib mailer. There was message. Nope, it wasn't there. Maybe it was in utils. Send mail. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Message.variables. Okay, yeah, this looks good. I think that's right. Let's try again. Okay, sorry, I got distracted by something. All right, let's run this again. Huh. Deprecated an MJML core and only available in the MJML CLI. I guess that's fair enough. Why have a dependency that is not likely to be used? I can appreciate wanting to distinguish that. But let's see if we get the email. I'm going to go check on my email. I'm hoping I get one from StrongBad. Okay, looks good so far. Oh, that's sad. I'm going to have to go click Show Original on this. Huh. I must have done something wrong. Let me check in my render here. No, it's not in my render. It's in my template. So in the template, I've got an MJ body and an MJ section. Let's see. I did not get the MJ title didn't work. The MJ preview did work. But I got nothing in terms of this section. I'm trying to see if it actually went out in the message at all. Do I have a hello? Okay, so this did not even render, as far as I can tell. The body didn't make it. So maybe I used it wrong. So let's go look here. Can we have section content without a column? Maybe we can't. Okay, MJ text. I guess that's what we need to do. All right, that looks about right. Okay, so we'll we'll do this. It's kind of funny because I said validate strict, and I would expect that if I put in something that's invalid, and I told it to validate strictly, I would expect that it would come back and say, yo dog, you did it wrong. But it did not. It worked. See, this is the thing that I hate the most. When it works, but it doesn't work. Validation level is strict. So why? I wonder if what that does, if it, no, because they have an option for skip. This should fail. It should throw an error. I put in bad MJML that cannot be rendered. It should throw an error. It should not be, it should not work when it knows that it can't work. It should know that it can't work because unless the default is everything is a comment, because it's not that it didn't display. Oh, okay. Now I've got centered text. Sorry, I'm not showing this to you. Let me see if I can bring this email over so you can see it. So we at least got hello at undefined. And then we got our attachment, and we got some sort of, I think this is added by Gmail. We'd have to go test this in different mailers, but hey, the battle's halfway won. Now we have to add some style to it. Oh, this is interesting. So here it is left aligned, but I was pretty sure when I made this wider, oh, it's because the way they do the column grid formatting, whatever. So I make it wider and wider. And yeah, okay, I see what's happening. So this probably needs a background. So say there needs to be a gray background or something, because as you expand it, you can kind of see it is being quote unquote responsive. I think that does match the literal definition of responsive actually. But you can see it's kind of doing a percentage-based change, but I think what we're seeing is that in the center, I don't know, because it seems to have a min width here, but it's only one column, I guess, so this makes sense. So anyway, it's got this one column, and there probably is a background that's growing. And so we can't see that this area that's the usable area is the same size and the background is growing because the background's the same color. If I change the background color, I'll probably see that. And we'll get to that in a minute anyway, because I do have a design that I'll probably show when I get around to it. But I got a design to go off of. This is going to be hilarious because I hate CSS, and not only am I having to work in CSS, I'm having to work in the worst possible CSS. So be it. Sorry for the tapping, but thinking through. Okay. It'd also be cool if they had some templates available. All right, let me think about this. What do I want to do next? First of all, I'm just going to get rid of some of these tabs, I think. Let's see. On this one, can I do save as? Do I get the okay, so here's my second gripe about this. Let's see if we can go into the MJML. If we're lucky, what we're going to see, if we are lucky, which we may not be lucky, but if we're lucky, what we're going to see in the web inspector is that when I go to save draft, let's see, save draft. If I'm lucky, what I'm going to see is the MJML. MJML content. There we go. Cool. So I need some way to go from the MJML JSON. Oh, this is worse than that. Because this is no tag name MJML. It looks a little hairy because they're probably doing some sort of templating on it. And there's P tags in here and H tags and MJ text, sure. Okay. So HTML part, there's the rendered HTML. Okay, so there is some way to get at the MJML, I guess. We just don't know exactly what that is. But I could maybe hokey poke it. Let's see. So I'm gonna go at gripe on Twitter again, because every once in a while, something good comes of it. Where did this go? Also, I did find a way to the alternate WYSIWYG in the MailJet account, but there's nowhere to download the MJML. I've been lured in, and I didn't get what I was promised. It's not that you don't have the tool, it's that does the work. It's that you just don't, I don't know how to say this. I've been lured in, which is fine, except that after all this, I don't get the MJML I was promised. Do they have a bait emoji? Fishing. I'm just gonna. So there we go. Let's see. Is it this way? So how do we can't link to it, can we? There we go. Hopefully whiny works better than angry. We shall see. Probably will have no effect, but at least I've got it documented where to get the things. And I do know that I can open up the console. If there's a way to convert, this is the thing. I'm going to close out all these tabs here. I got to open now that blocks edit. What is this? How to using blocks edit tags on MGML. I don't know what this means, but I got here somehow, so I'll keep that open for the minute. Okay, that part, I don't think I need that anymore. Let's get out of this one. I don't need that one anymore. I don't need this one anymore. And I did get the email, and it did have the stuff in it. So my next bit, let's see. I think this is ripe for a whip commit. So let's do our email send and our render. And I guess we don't. Do we need our vars? Let's go ahead and put in our vars. Sure. Oh, whoops! Not what I wanted to do. I didn't mean to vim that. I meant to get that, not vim that. Get add vars, get add TPL, get add package, sure, because those updated. Let's see, is there anything else in here? Message.json, let's go ahead and add that. And then I'm just going to make this a whip commit. So first, let me make sure I rebased off of master. Oh, whoops. Okay, well, let's do this. Git commit -m whip render ETA MJML templates. Render plus send. Cool. So we're halfway there. Like I said, I need to take a break, and then the battle will rage on. So let me get rebase master and then push this. Okay, it pushes cleanly. Sweet. All right, I'm gonna go get some sunshine or something. We'll see. Oh, and there's a message I need to look at actually. Huh. Oh, okay, there's a message I need to respond to real quick. Oh, I need to go check on something. Excuse me before I get off. Well, I'll just go ahead and end the stream, actually. All right. Thanks for joining in. If you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So give a thumbs up if you did, give a thumbs down if you didn't, because every thumb helps. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and do so. Click the bell for personalized notifications so you get the code stuff or the Node stuff, not the other stuff. I do Node and Go. I'm going to maybe start doing some Rust because I'm going through one of the Rust books, and there's some samples in there that I thought maybe as I go through them, I'll live stream checking them out. And then there's another Rust book that's coming out next month. No, November. It's coming out in November. And I'll get that. So I'm trying to finish up this one before that one comes out. And just reinforcing things that I know. I do, at some point, I want to start an actual Rust project. The problem is that cross-platform compilation is really important to me, and Go does that really well. And where it's not necessarily to distribute something so simple and so easy, then Node does pretty well. And the things that Rust is really awesome at, in some ways it's not so awesome at because of the whole platform dependence problem. For example, if you want to get a random number in Rust, that has different syscalls on different platforms, and just not enough of the libraries that I believe should be standard libraries. In Go, everything that you need is in the standard library. There may be some things in the standard library that are not perfect, but they're certainly good enough, and they work well. They're reasonable defaults, and Rust doesn't have that, and that just, I find that frustrating because I don't want to have to dig through a bunch of rando Joe Blow's libraries and find out which of these are worth using. That's one of the things that I hate about Node, and I end up writing just about everything myself, but that's fine because it's not that hard. In Rust, you have to make a lot of decisions, and I don't want to be writing everything myself. Anyway, so that aside, you have a good one. I will maybe catch you later, and adios.